And those threats show how on edge police and schools are after shootings like we saw in Florida.
So does the debate that we have seen on our social media pages all day about whether teachers should actually be armed or not. And you can join that right now on WGRZ.com/vote.
And Dave McKinley says the idea may pick up steam as it did following another deadly school shooting in late 2012.
The idea of arming school personnel gained a lot of steam after the Sandy Hook school shootings just over 5 years ago. In the ensuing year, bills to allow for that were considered in 33 states, while New York under Governor Andrew Cuomo took a different direction by adopting tighter gun control laws. 15 states now allow for the arming of school staff, including Texas, where they undergo 80 hours of training. Opponents raise concerns ranging from a lack of sufficient training to students disarming a teacher to the possibility that in an active shooter situation, the armed school employee could be harmed by police. But supporters of arming school staff argue that as it stands now, schools stand as inviting targets for wrongdoers who know that, unlike in states like Texas, there may be no one to stop them. And we found one state lawmaker who agrees with that.
You look across the country where we've had so-called gun-free zones, and lo and behold, that's where a number of the mass shootings have been.
State Senator Pat Gallivan was a career law enforcer before entering politics.
My preferred course of action would be to see school resource officers in every school.
But failing that?
If somebody is properly licensed and has a permit to carry a weapon, they should be permitted to carry a weapon, and we shouldn't have these areas of exclusion.
Including schools, including staff. To the best of his recollection and to the best of our research efforts, legislation to arm teachers has never even been proffered in New York State. And if it was,
I think in the Senate there'd be serious discussion.
But he doubts such a measure would stand much of a chance of ever being enacted.
I'm speculating that there would not be a willingness to discuss it in the Assembly, and that's troubling because we should be discussing every option to keeping our children safe.
Senator Gallivan stopped short of saying he'd be the first to introduce such legislation, but only because he doesn't think he needs to. He believes that under current law, school districts could do this on their own if they choose.
Interesting.
Very interesting, and we're going to have more about that coming up.
A real local level.
Yeah, it's something I bet most of you didn't even realize, but he thinks the section of law would permit it without the state.
That's encouraging because I've heard already a lot of school administrators and parents and even kids wanting some action, wanting some change. So we'll follow.
So we'll see you tonight at 6.
All righty. Thank you, Dave.